Ghostly legends: the night Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt visited Sir Winston Churchill in Westminster. Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt visit Sir Winston. A spectral meeting in Westminster. It was a quiet evening in the ghostly realm of Westminster when Sir Winston Churchill, comfortably puffing on his cigar, received unexpected visitors. As the spectral smoke curled above him in the shadowy corridors of Parliament, he felt the familiar presence of two distinguished spirits crossing the veil. To his delight, they weren't just any ordinary ghosts. They were none other than Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt. This narrative is sponsored by Polly Speaks For You. The creator of Polly Speaks For You has always been passionate about empowering individuals, especially those with disabilities or learning challenges, through text-to-speech and voice recognition technology. Polly Speaks For You isn't just a tool, it's a bridge for people to communicate and interact with the world in a meaningful way. By blending historical storytelling with cutting-edge tech, the creator showcases how powerful a voice can be, whether telling your own story or preserving history. So hit that like, share, and subscribe button and help this channel grow. Now back to Westminster. By Jove, what a surprise! Churchill exclaimed, rising from his chair. To what do I owe the pleasure, gentlemen? The towering figure of Lincoln, dressed in his iconic black suit and top hat, gave a solemn yet friendly nod. We thought we'd drop by, Winston. It's been a while since we talked strategy and statecraft, and Teddy here insisted. Roosevelt, with his usual enthusiasm, adjusted his spectacles and clapped Winston on the shoulder. Couldn't resist the opportunity to meet again in this fine, ghostly institution of yours. Besides, we got a lot to catch up on. Churchill laughed heartily. Well, come on in then. Westminster's always more interesting with company. The great meeting of minds. As the three spirits sat in a dimly lit, ethereal version of the House of Commons, they found themselves reminiscing about their lives, their struggles, and the weight of leadership they had carried in their time. Lincoln, ever the contemplative figure, spoke first. You know, Winston, I've been meaning to ask, what's it like haunting this place? Must be a far cry from the White House. Churchill smirked. Haunting it? My dear Abe, I run it. Or at least I like to think so. Keeps me occupied. Though it's a bit livelier now that I have you two here. Ghosts of Westminster aren't quite as entertaining as those in the States, I imagine. Roosevelt grinned. Oh, we've had our fun in the White House, knocking over a few books, rearranging paintings. I've been chasing after ghost hunters for years. He roared with laughter, slapping his knee. Lincoln chuckled softly. I do me hunting quietly. Just the occasional spectral visit to check on the state of the Union. Winston leaned back, taking a puff of his cigar. Well, you've come to the right place, chaps. Here, we don't just haunt, we discuss, we debate, we drink a little whiskey. What do you say we make a night of it? Roosevelt's eyes lit up. I'm all for it. What's the afterlife without a good drink and some lively conversation? A spirited conversation. As the evening went on, the three legendary leaders found themselves discussing everything from war and peace to the quirks of leadership in life and beyond. I still say, Roosevelt proclaimed, that nothing beats a good cavalry charge. Nothing gets the blood pumping like it. Lincoln raised an eyebrow. I wouldn't know about that, Teddy. My war was fought from the desk and through proclamations. But I can't argue with your enthusiasm. Winston, swirling his spectral glass of whiskey, chuckled. War, peace, strategy. Those were the days, weren't they? Leading nations through some of the darkest times. Only to end up here, sharing a drink as ghosts. Who would have thought? Lincoln leaned forward, his deep voice resonating in the chamber. But what we did mattered, Winston. Our decisions shaped the world for the better. And now, even in this ghostly state, I think it's important we remember that. Roosevelt nodded vigorously. Exactly, Abe. The work's never truly done, is it? Even now, we got to keep an eye on things. And maybe, just maybe, pull a few pranks on the living while we're at it. Churchill, with a gleam in his eye, raised his glass. To that, I say hear, hear. A little mischief never hurt anyone. Now, gentlemen, what do you say we haunt the Commons for old time's sake? Lincoln and Roosevelt exchanged glances before breaking into grins. Lead the way, Winston, Roosevelt said. Let's show these modern politicians what real leaders are like. even if we're no longer alive to do it. Mischief in the halls of power. The ghostly trio drifted through the halls of Westminster, their laughter echoing through the chambers as they playfully rearranged the furniture, whispered in the ears of unsuspecting MPs, and generally caused a ruckus. At one point, Lincoln floated above the speaker's chair, giving a mock-serious address. "Fourscore and 7 spirits ago, our ghostly fathers brought forth on this chamber a new mischief." Roosevelt, meanwhile, pretended to lead a charge down the hallway, much to Churchill's amusement. "Tally-ho!" he shouted, his ghostly form running through walls and doorways with glee. Winston, ever the dignified spirit, watched with delight as his old friends enjoyed themselves. Ah, this is the afterlife as it should be, filled with laughter and good company. A lasting friendship. As the night wound down and the first light of dawn began to creep into the mortal world, the three ghostly figures returned to their spectral table in the House of Commons, each one reflecting on their time together. "It's been good to see you both again," Lincoln said quietly. "Even in this form, it's comforting to know that the bonds of friendship and leadership remain." Roosevelt, always full of energy, raised his glass one last time. "Here's to more nights like this, gents. The world may have moved on, but we're still here, watching over it, and every now and then stirring up a little trouble." Churchill, with a fond smile, tipped his hat. "Indeed, old friends. Indeed. Here's to the past, the present, and whatever may come next in this strange adventure we call the afterlife." With that, the three legendary spirits clinked their ghostly glasses, their laughter filling the chamber once more as they settled into the afterlife, ready for whatever mischief lay ahead. And so, in the heart of Westminster, the ghosts of Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, and Sir Winston Churchill continued their eternal friendship, forever watching, forever laughing, and always ready for a bit of ghostly fun. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. To learn more about South Africa's leading accessibility software, visit www.polispeaks4u.co.za and support this meaningful dyslexic initiative. Thank you for watching.